I'm Subhashini Shrestha from Nepal, and I am a regional lead for Internet Society Accessibility Standing Group. And today I'm here to present on my topic use of assistive technology at classroom for diverse learner. So I would like to share my screen here. So I would like to introduce uh, my topic use of assistive technology at classroom for diverse learning. It is the breaking barrier that how assistive technology is redefining. Uh, Talking about assistive technology, it is not only used for person with disability, but it is also used and help other people who are non-disabled. So it is defined as the diversity in the contemporary classroom, which I am doing my research. So it is the inclusive education platform for diverse learner requiring unique technical intervention to succeed. There are multiple kind of disabilities in Nepal. There are 10 types of disabilities, uh, and they are divided into sensory learners, neurodivergent students, and physical disabilities, as well as language uh, barrier in the disability. So, while talking about sensory learners, students with visual impairment or hearing impairment who rely on screen reader and many more tools. And neurodivergent students means those with autism and dyslexia who benefit from visual as well as text to speech tools. And physical disabilities require some hardware and modified input devices to navigate to the digital curriculum. And disabilities with language and literacy issues are students in multilingual regions where assistive technology helps to bridge the gap between their communication and instructional languages. So there are multiple digital tools that have already been discussed in this forum. So I would not like to go more on detail. So there are different tools for sensory impairments and which works as a server for their eyes and ears within the classroom environment. For example, there is NVDA screen reader, which was already discussed. It is a open source software which features high quality Nepali voice for visually impaired students. And there is a tactile graphics, which is a 3D printed maps and diagrams, which allows students to feel geography and science in their hands. And there are also captioning and sign languages available in the real time speech to text tools that support uh, students with hearing impairment during live lectures. And other one is the frequency modulation, which is the direct to hearing air audio that eliminates the background noise in the classroom for the learners. And talking about Nepal, it is the country where we cannot access internet on every region. So we have to think about low tech solution for high impact classroom inclusion. While digital tools are getting more uh, prioritized, low tech assistive devices also remain the backbone of accessibility, like in Nepal. So there, it can be classified as handheld magnifiers, which also is essential for students with low vision to access standard printed textbooks. And there is a slates and stylus, which is the fundamental tools for braille literacy that do not require power or software updates in the rural areas. And there is weighted vest and fidgets, that is a sensory regulation tools for neurodivergent students like children with autism and other disabilities to improve the focus and reduce anxiety in the classroom. And there is a communication boards which simply there is a pictorial grid that allow non-verbal students to express needs and participate in the classroom. So, overcoming the infrastructure gap in rural Nepal, uh, our geography represents unique challenges for technology adoption, but our 2026 strategy focuses on different challenges, that is, unreliable power, which can be solved by solar powered charging stations and long battery tablets. And another challenge is there is no internet in the rural area of Nepal, so we can use offline apps and local Raspberry Pi for the applications. And due to the rock terrain of the country, lightweight, durable hardware design can be used in place of heavy hardware devices. And due to the limited budget in the technology, open source software and local technology can be used. So, talking about assistive technology, we should also empower the educators as accessibility champions, because technology is not only effective, is only effective as the teachers who facilitate its use. So, there should be continuous professional who should uh, burst into training modules on using screen readers and other assistive technology devices. And also we can use peer-to-peer networks, which is on the local clusters where teachers can share their ideas and tips for troubleshooting the assistive technology devices. And the curriculum design that have been implemented in the past years is not that inclusive. So we need to focus on the inclusive curriculum design that facilitates teachers, educators, and trainers to create materials that are accessible from the state, that is using alternative text in the slide and other uh, tools. And there is a empathy led teaching, as we had already discussed. Empathy leads to the success. As we are moving ahead in technology, uh, beyond the charity model to accessibility as a fundamental model, we can go with that. And the bridge from disability is that we can use multi-tiered support system, MTSS, which consists of tier 1, that is universal for inclusive classroom and accessibility in tools for the children with disabilities or diverse learners. It is used in the classroom to make accessible to all. And in the next tier, that is tier 2, that is for the targeted students who require scaffolding interventions. Scaffolding means that we can teach the children in short and simple instruction which can be understood by the targeted group. So small group support can be fit into this tier 2. And tier 3 is the intensive support that is required by the uh, person with children with diverse learners, and it is specialized for complex needs so that students can learn in the same classroom. So we are applying UDL, that is universal design learning and assistive technology. As assistive technology is advancing, we need to focus on universal design learning as well, shifting the focus from changing the learner to modifying the learning environment, not the children. So in the UDL framework, there are multiple factors that can be implemented. First is the learning empowerment that enables diverse learners to customize their learning platform. And the second one is equity through tools, that is, devices can be used as the essential equalizers for diverse learner. And third is the multiple pathways. Only traditional teaching method does not work in the universal design learning. So we can use different technology for engagement to the diverse learners so that they can learn from multiple pathways. And the fourth one is proactive design, that is anticipating diverse learner need. If the children with autism need sensory equipment or sensory assistive technology, we can design that for them and similar to the other diverse needs. So we can also use work technique to guide the assistive technology. As assistive technology with work, learning preferences to support diverse classroom needs. Work stands for visual, auditory, read, write, and kinesthetic. The first one, V, is visual, that is utilization of text to speech, screen magnifiers, visual organizers, and color coded note taking apps in our visual model. Similarly, we can use speech to text direction tools, audiobooks, recording software to capture verbal lessons in auditory part. Similarly, we can deploy braille displays, digital note taking, and OCR, optical character recognition, to convert printed text to editable, editable digital formats in R, that is read and write. And finally, there is a K in work, that is kinesthetic, that incorporates the haptic feedback from devices. We can use interactive whiteboards and digital simulations that allow for tactile manipulation of abstract concepts. So it is very useful in the uh, teaching of the any teaching material to the diverse learners in the classroom. So there is a bridge from disability to the assistive technology. It is the assistive technology acts as a critical bridge that connects a learner's potential with their academic performance. So we prefer equity over equality. Technology not only provides the specific support needed to students or diverse learner to reach the same starting line, and there is social integration. Students using assistive technology are more likely to interact with peers, reducing the stigma of disability. And third one is there is a independent learning. Assistive technology gives diverse learners agency to complete assignments and research without constant supervision. So it makes them independent in the classroom. And also, it is a future readiness. Mastering in assistive tools prepares diverse learners for the modern workforce in country like Nepal. So here we are measuring our progress, that is in 2026, because data drives our advocacy and ensures that investment in technology are real world results for Nepal students. We have 45% enrollment increase in the case of students with disability inclusive classroom since 2024, and there is a 1200 plus digital hubs which is now equipped with at least one digital accessibility hub, and 85% teacher competence, that is teachers in pilot districts like rural areas of Nepal reporting ability using basis basic assistive software in the region where there is a no internet in rural area, and there is a 30% dropout reduction for diverse learners using personalized assistive tools. So here is a strategic roadmap for fully accessible Nepal. We are manufacturing locally the low-cost assistive devices to reduce the import reliance, and we are also integrating the policy that is mandating the digital accessibility standards for all new educational software and government websites. And also, there will be a national resource hub for establishing regional centers for assistive technology assessment, repair, and teacher support. And there is a youth advocacy going on for training students to be self advocates for their own accessibility needs in higher education. So, our commitment for this Global Accessibility Awareness Day is that uh, a classroom where every child belongs, ensuring that no learner is left behind. We are providing technology for all, and we are making accessibility a standard because it is fundamental. And thank you for this wonderful, wonderful journey and providing me this platform to present my topic.